We're getting ready to wrap up day 15, and I have two more things left to do. Journal and read a little bit of this book. It's late, so technically it's actually tomorrow because it's past midnight. But since we're having long days, I think it's okay to say that today is gonna go on until I fall asleep. It's been a great day. I was reflecting earlier today at the gym how great I feel because of this commitment that I've made and the progress that I've been making. The quest so far to stay on track has been a bit easier with Meg. She's over here nursing Hunter. I might show him off a little bit later. But in this book, I was telling Meg a little bit about it today. And if you haven't picked up this book, I think it's very important that you do. And it's very dense. And even in the first opening chapter, the author talks about a lot of interesting things. He gives this example where he shows this image, and you might have seen this image before, and it's like, what do you see? Do you see an old woman looking down towards like your left, I believe, or are you seeing a young woman looking away? And he talks about this experiment where a group of people are each given an image similar to this one, where when you see this woman looking away and then you see this image, all you're going to be able to see is the woman looking away. You will never see the old woman. And so each group of people, one got the image of a woman looking away and the other one of the old woman looking down. And then afterwards, this image showed up on like the big screen, and then each side argued what they're seeing. And what was interesting about that experiment, even though both groups knew that the other one had an idea of another perspective, they still argued their point. And so yeah, all of this occurred in spite one exceedingly important advantage the student had. Most of them knew early in a demonstration that another point of view did in fact exist, something many of us would never admit. So this interesting idea about human interaction, that we can see another point of view, know that another point of view exists, but yet somehow our mind plays tricks on me. So this was kind of like a big win from reading this book so far that I want to share with you. But overall, the day has been wonderful. It's a Saturday, so it's marking the start of the third week. I had a very good workout, and it feels really nice that with each time I go to the gym and perform my exercises, I'm getting stronger. In previous videos, I was joking around how weak I am, and now I am still weak, but not as weak, which feels really good. And Meg is proud of me for doing that because she wants me to get muscles. And I do have to pick up some weight. I mean, I'm at 161. My scale doesn't really say the true fat content that I have. I mean, but I'm not like that fat, but I have still, a layer of fat that could be reduced. Nevertheless, at 161, I think I have room to put on at least 10 pounds of muscle mass. So kind of inadvertently today, I started listening to a podcast which talks a lot about dieting. It's a podcast from Rich Roll, and that one is labeled Our Broken Plate, I want to say. And so there's a lot of cool technical stuff that he talks about, which I listened to for the first time 3 years ago. And at that time, I remember actually using some of the things that they talked about. And as a result of that triathlon that I did, the St. Anthony's, the one I'm training for now, when I did it 3 years ago, or goodness, or maybe 4. Do you remember?
4?
4 years ago? Because that puts us at...
No, it would have been 3 years ago.
Would have been 3 years ago? Because Shayna talked about it first.
Yeah, and it wouldn't have been that soon into us dating.
Maybe. Meg and I have been dating for more than 4.5 years. It's gonna be 5 years in July. So
It was
it's
probably 3 years ago.
probably 3 years ago. Okay, so I did one triathlon when we kind of like met, and then the next one that I did, that's the one that I did well. Okay, and I need to look at those times to kind of see how it was. But yeah, remember not having ample amount of time to train, and my dieting was kind of off to my standard, but I was following some principles from the Rich Roll's podcast, and I remember performing very well for the amount of time that I've trained, and I thought that was like really cool. So we'll talk more about that as I continue listening to the podcast. It's like almost 3.5 hours long, so there's a lot of stuff to take in. All right, well, I'm gonna go ahead and finish this one up. Start of week 3. I'm working on a whole bunch of cool stuff with my social media right now that hopefully will turn into something awesome. But again, the idea is just working out, getting stronger. Tomorrow is going to be an awesome day. It's going to be a beautiful day outside in St. Pete, Florida, and Meg and I are going to go on a walk. She's going to walk, and then I'm going to go on a run in our favorite part of St. Pete, which is near Vinoy Park. And actually, a part of it is where that triathlon takes place on part of the run. It's on this trail by the water. It's going to be beautiful. We're going to try to take some footage of that actually tomorrow and show you what's up. All right, well, I'm going to go to work.